Hi students, exams are coming near. That is reactive. You have already written PSP subject and PSA2. Many students are searching for reactive power control in elective power system subject model wise questions because this is a elective subject and this is a first batch you are writing, right? So there is no question papers on this subject. So many are asking that send me important questions model wise. So I have already uploaded video on model wise questions. VTU subject code is 18EE735. Once we shall discuss regarding all the questions, okay? Not in brief, just in a what to write for a particular question. That I will say in this video, okay? All the best for exams. So we shall discuss the model wise questions. First model questions. First model, I have given 5 important questions. First is show that how reactive power compensator is related to rated apparent power. I have given hint also for this question what to answer. Okay. Power factor correction. You have already read regarding the model 1 power factor correction, right? So requirement for compensation, objectives in load compensation, they have given, I have written syllabus wise. So once you check, okay, this is ideal compensator. That is, they have asked a question regarding power factor correction. So this is the power factor correction. First question what we have read is power factor correction. We need to write the power factor correction. First, we need to draw these 4 circuits. Okay, phasor diagrams is important, and this circuit is important. This load is load YL is equal to GL plus JBL, and this phasor diagram. Okay, you need to write all the 4 figures, and you need to mention that what it is. YL is equal to GL plus JBL, and IL can be written as, and VL and IL are the phasors that is represented in the phasor diagram. These equations you need to mention, and particularly first these 3, equation 3 and equation 4 you need to write, and next equation 5, 6, equation 7, and equation 8, finally equation 9. So overall 9 equations somewhat regarding sentence for that. Okay, that is the first question. Next question, what it is? List out the specification of a load compensator. So for this, what you'll write? Special heading only, it is a specification of load compensation. So here it is, specification of a load compensator. Okay, so already so many points are there. If they have given for 10 marks, at least you mention 15 points. If you have not remember, you can remember only 10 points for 10 marks. Okay, or you write more than extra 12 or 13 points. Okay, for if they ask for 10 marks, at least you should mention more than 10 points. Okay, so if they ask for only 6 marks, 5 marks, then it is more than enough 8 to 9 points. Okay, so depending upon marks you should write. If they have given 10 marks, you write 15, it's more than enough. Okay, it is having a 15 specification. If you write 15, fine. If you have written 12 or 13, that is also fine for to get the 10 marks. Okay, next, what question is there? Explain in detail the voltage regulation in single phase system. Same heading is there, voltage regulation. Okay, same heading is there for voltage regulation. voltage regulation. Again, load, that is, you need to draw the figure, phasor diagram, and also the another phasor diagram. These three diagrams are important, and you need to mention the equations. Equation 2, 3, equation 4. Okay. So if they ask for 10 marks, you need to mention all the 5 equations with diagrams and with the sentence also. Okay. If they asked particularly approximate formula for the voltage regulation, then you need to mention this: short circuited at the load bus bar, the short circuited apparent power will be equation 6. If you not written sentence, if you have written less, then you write this also: approximate for formula for the voltage regulation. You can write directly 7, 8, 9 equations. Okay. Later that final equations you can write. Okay. If they have given, if they have not asked approximate formula for the voltage regulation, then no need of writing that. No need of writing this one, approximate formula for the voltage regulation. If you write this until delta V, that's fine. Okay, that is the voltage regulation formula. If they asked for approximate formula, if they have asked for 10 marks also, you just mention at least these 3 equations. Okay, after writing that equation 5, you just mention some equations in the approximate formula also. Okay, because they have asked for 10 marks. If it is 10 marks. Okay. Next, what are the main objectives in load compensation? Explain. What are the main objectives in load compensation? Explain. It is a direct question, right? In starting only introduction, it is there. Objectives in load compensation. So this is the objectives in load compensation. There are 3 main objectives. One is power factor correction, one is improvement of voltage regulation, and third is load balancing. First, you mention the power factor, 3 main objectives. Next, you go on explaining. At least you should write 4 or 3 points regarding power factor correction and improvement of voltage regulation regarding that, and load balancing. At least for each 4 points should be, you have to write for, if they have given for 10 marks. Okay, if they have given for 8 marks, if you write 3 points for each, that's enough. Depending upon marks, you should write points. Okay. Next question is, briefly discuss requirements and objectives. Okay, what it is there? Briefly discuss requirement objectives in load compensation. Requirement, it is in the starting. Requirement for compensation. They have asked both. Okay, they have asked both requirement and objectives. You should write 5 marks regarding requirement for compensation, and you should write at least 5 points regarding requirement for compensation, and 5 points regarding the objectives in load compensation. Okay, if you mention these 3 and for each 1 sentence, okay, and 1 or 2 sentence if you mention, that's enough for 5 marks. Okay, and for this also you need to mention the 5 points regarding the requirement for compensation. This is the model 1. Next we shall discuss the model 2 questions. Okay, so model 1 questions, model 2 questions we shall discuss now. Okay, Model 1 questions are there. Still briefly discuss requirement that it was loading, I think. So next questions is fifth question, briefly discuss requirements and objectives in load compensation. We have already discussed. And what is ideal compensator? Mention its function. It is easy, right? It is in the heading itself. One second. Objectives in load compensation. Next question is only ideal compensator. The three main functions. Okay, what is ideal compensator? And three main functions. You know, if they are given for 10 marks, you need to write the 4 sentences for each function. Okay. If they are given for 5 marks, then you no need of explain. Okay, if they have asked to mention, then it will be for 5 marks like that. Okay. Explain classical load balancing problem for open loop balancing. So this is the last topic of the first model. Last topic of the first model, that is classical load balancing. Classical load balancing problem. Open loop balancing is there for your syllabus, so read that only. So the here you need to write the figure and you need to write the equations. There are so many equations for this. You need to write equation 1 and equation 2 and equation 3. You need to draw this circuit scheme for balancing and unbalancing delta connected load, and equation 4, 6. It is a lengthy question. Okay, they give for 10 marks. They give for 10 marks. This is a lengthy question. If they ask for only 8 marks like that, you can minimize the equations. Okay, you can write directly like that. You can skip the equations instead of writing from starting. Otherwise, you skip the sentence. You can write directly the final expressions. After writing some equations, you can write the final expressions, which is important. Okay. So this is, if they ask for 10 marks, you need to mention at least the main equations and final equations. Okay, these equation is important, because this is the final equation what we have write that will balance the unbalanced load. The equation 3 and equation 10 substituting in equation 2. So these 3 equations are important. Okay, so like that, whichever important equation that you write. Okay, if they have given for 10 marks or if they have given for 8 marks, because it is a lengthy equation. If you go on writing, it takes more time. At least it takes half an hour if you go on writing and solving. Okay, better you read some important equations. Next, we shall go to the model 2. That is, first question is, what are the requirements to be satisfied for bulk power transmission by AC? Explain in brief. This is a direct question, right? Model 2, little bit more topics are there in model 2. First question, what it is? Requirements to be satisfied for bulk power transmission by AC. Explain in brief. This is the first topic. What are the requirements to be satisfied for bulk power transmission by AC? Explain in brief. I have given the same question in the notes also. Heading only it is there. I have mentioned question also. How in the question paper they may ask like this. Actually, this subject is somewhat, some topics are MTech subject. Okay, MTech power system subject. This is. So for first question, you can write this major two fundamental requirements. One is major synchronous machines must remain stable in synchronism, and second question is, second point is, that is regarding voltages. Voltage must be kept near to their rated values. Regarding first point, you write 5 points. Regarding second point, you mention the 5 points, because if they ask for 10 marks, you need to mention the more points. If because this is theory, if you write a exact 5 equations, if you write a exact 10 equations, you will not get a out marks for a particular question. So you need to mention more points if they ask for 10 marks like that. Okay, so this is the first answer. And next question is, they have asked that explain the solution of the transmission line wave equation. This is a small question. This is a simple answer. It is fundamental transmission line equation. This is only fundamental transmission line equation. 3 equations, and if you want, you write the circuit, because it is not there in the textbook. It is a just introduction. If you want, you write, it will be good. Okay, you'll come to know how we got that ES, V of X, what it is, and I of X, and we can indicate the line capacitance, line inductance. Okay, so this is a long transmission line, just to show the lumped element representation. That's it. Okay, you mentioned that equations and sentence also, because in this they will not ask for 10 marks, they may ask for 5 marks. If they have given 10 marks also, you need to mention whatever it is there. You need to write everything, because the topic is only small, right? So if you skip in that, then you'll get less marks for a particular question. So write as it is. Next, explain the characteristic impedance and natural loading. This is a surge loading. Okay, this is nothing but surge impedance. This is the question. So, this is the what they have asked. That question as explain the characteristic impedance and natural loading. Characteristic impedance is nothing but what? Surge impedance. So they have asked like this. Okay, so you need to write always. What the students do is, if they ask for surge impedance and natural loading, they write only regarding the surge impedance and they leave regarding the natural loading. No, you should not do like that. Okay, you should write some points, and some points regarding surge impedance, and you should mention points regarding natural loading also. They have mentioned that surge impedance and natural loading. Okay, if they asked only for surge impedance, then you can mention regarding only surge impedance. Okay, at least you need to mention the 5 some points regarding surge impedance, and these equations are related to surge impedance only. Okay, from here you will get the points regarding natural loading. Okay, this is regarding the natural loading. From here also you can write the 4 to 5 points, and for surge impedance also 4 to 5 points. If they ask for 10 marks, at least you need to mention surge impedance 5 points and natural loading 5 points and some equations. Okay, so always remember, don't write only regarding surge impedance if they ask for surge impedance and also natural loading. Okay, because they will be allotted for marks, surge impedance 5 marks and natural loading 5 marks. Next question is, explain the voltage and current profile of an uncompensated line on open circuit. Explain the voltage and current profile. This is what? For that particular question, this is the answer. Voltage and current profile for uncompensated line or open circuit. This is the answer. This is all equations you need to write. Equations are important. And this circuit, this is a phasor diagram you need to write. And this is a voltage profile and current profile. You need to draw this graph, okay, because this indicates the what it is voltage profile and what the current profile is. Okay, you need to draw this graph, and you need to write the equations related to the particular topic. Okay, so you need to write the equations. There are so many equations you need to mention. V of x, I of x. This is the voltage profile and this is the current profile. Final equation. And they have given the example also. What happens if it is. Okay. If you mention the examples also. Okay. This is a simple topic. Somewhat sentence. If they ask for 10 marks, you need to write more sentence. You need to give example. You need to write sentence regarding that. Okay. Next, what question is there? We shall see. Show that how the midpoint voltage is related to the reactive power requirement of the symmetrical line. This question they have asked many students. For that, what we need to write the answer. Okay. It is there in the notes, but you'll not see. This is for that particular question, you need to write the reactive power requirement. In notes, it is there, heading is the reactive power requirement. Reactive power requirement. This is the question they've asked, but they have mentioned in a different form. What they have mentioned is, that is, you can observe it will come in the middle. This equation shows how that midpoint voltage is related to the reactive power requirement of the symmetrical line. But you'll not remember that. You'll see always the heading should be in the question. No, you should understand the concept, what it is. Okay. So always don't expect the question. Always it should be in a heading. What you get, what you read in the notes, or what you read according to the syllabus. Okay. So they may give middle of the sentence as a question. Okay. So they have asked like that, how the midpoint voltage is related to the reactive power requirement of the symmetrical line. So till here you need to write the equations and also the sentence. If they ask for 10 marks, you need to write more sentence. Okay. If they ask for 8 marks, you can skip the some more sentence which is unimportant, and you can start writing the equations. Okay. So there are 6 equations you have, and so if you write with the example, that's more than enough. Next question we shall see. Different types of reactive power compensation, mention its advantages and disadvantages. This is easy question, right? It is in the heading only. Direct question it is. So there are 7. Okay, 7 types. 7 types. I have mentioned in the notes advantages and disadvantages. This is the answer for that. Advantages and disadvantages of different types of compensating equipment for transmission system. Next, explain the radial line with the fixed sending end voltage. Explain the radial line with the fixed sending end voltage. This is what they have asked. Radial line with the fixed sending end voltage. This is the answer. equation 1, equation 2, and equation 3 you have, and phasor diagrams are there. Okay, for particular that you have phasor diagrams, that is when it is resilient voltage magnitude as a function of load. Three to four phasor diagrams are there. So you mention that and you write the equations and some sentence regarding the graph. Okay, so these are the natural load when it is unity power factor, when it is 0.97 power factor, when it is leading, and when it is lagging. Okay, if you mention these three graph and if you write some sentence regarding this topic, that's enough. Okay, next, what it is there, explain the passive and active compensation. Also mention the type and function of these two types of compensation. It is a last unit. Passive compensators and active compensator. Regarding passive compensation, you write 5 points, and active compensation, you write 5 points. They have asked regarding the explain the passive and active compensation, and also you need to mention the functions. Okay, the table is there, function. This classification of compensators by function and type, this you need to mention. At least 3 marks will be allotted. If they are given for 10 marks, at least 3 marks will be allotted for this. Okay, at least 3 marks or 2 marks they have allotted for this. Okay, next, explain the effect of distributed compensation on voltage control. This is what effect of distributed compensation on voltage control. For this question, you need to write this answer. Okay, they may ask for 10 marks, they may ask for 8 marks. You need to mention the example also, you need to mention the equation, and you need to mention the graph also. Okay, because it is allotted for 10 marks. Okay, what they have asked question is you need to know effect of distributed compensation on voltage control. Okay, next topic, it is effect of distributed compensation on line charging is different and voltage control is different. Don't confuse. Okay, you need to know what the heading is. Effect of distributed compensation on voltage control it is, and next is line charging. Okay, now we have discussed regarding the model 2 questions. Next we shall go with the model 3 questions. Somewhat videos I have explained some related to some topics already. Model 3 questions, some questions I have already explained. Watch that video. Okay, you'll come to know for which question what answer you should write. Okay, but also I'll discuss in this video. So explain reactive power of capacitor, explain basics of capacitor. These are the direct questions. I think no need of explaining again. Write a short note on capacitors connected in parallel, capacitors connected in series. Don't write one sentence. Okay, if you have written also, it should be related to the power system. Yeah. Okay, don't mix the topics. Okay, capacitors connected in parallel means this is a model 3 question, and it is related to only the reactive power. Okay, so whatever given in the textbook, whatever I have written notes by seeing the textbook only. If you read notes also fine, if you read textbook also fine. Okay, but write as it is. Okay, if you write one sentence also, meaning should be correct. So model 3, reactive power of capacitors. Same heading is there in the notes. Once you see, because same heading only they are asked questions. Explain reactive power capacitors, reactive power of capacitors. Same question in same heading is there. Basics of capacitor also same heading, and this also same heading is there. Explain the control of open circuit voltage with the shunt reactors. And for this, I have explained video on this control of open circuit voltage with shunt reactor. And also this question is model 2 question. This question is model 2 question. Don't read this. This is related to model 2 question. Don't consider for model 3. What are the objectives and practical limitations of series compensation? This is also a direct question. And next is a obtain expression for power transfer characteristics and maximum transmissible power for a symmetrical line with the midpoint series capacitor and shunt reactor. This is also same heading is a explain fundamental concept of compensation by sectioning. Regarding this model 3, all the questions I have made video. Once you watch video, okay. Next, we shall come to the model 4. Okay. Many will do mistakes in the model 4. First question, what is there? What it is? First question, with the necessary diagram, explain the working principle of TCR. That is thyristor controlled reactor. Okay. So, first question is regarding TCR. From here it will start. Many students are writing from starting introduction. No, these are not. From here it will start. Principle of operation of thyristor controlled reactor. From here you should write. Okay, you should write sentence, and you should write the waveforms and equations. Okay, and control law of elementary TCR. Okay, these are important, waveforms and the control law of elementary TCR and equations, and some sentence if you write, that's enough. This is the main circuit. Okay, this is important, and this is important, and waveform is important. Okay, waveform is important. Some equations with the sentence. Okay, this they may ask for 10 marks because it is a lengthy question. Okay. Next question, what it is there, we shall see. With the help of necessary figures, explain the principle of TSC and TCR with shunt capacitor. Okay, TSC. This is thyristor controlled transformer. This is TCT. This is TCR with the shunt capacitor. Second question. Okay. TCR with the shunt capacitors. You need to write this circuit. Okay. This hybrid compensator with switched capacitor. This you need to draw, and sentence. Okay. Explanation regarding that. This also important for voltage and characteristics of TCR. Here it is there heading thyristor switched capacitor. Many students are writing the wrong answer. You need to know that what it is. Thyristor switched capacitor. This is the circuit for that. This is primary. Don't divide the circuit. Okay, this is primary and this is the secondary part. Okay, they have given alternating arrangement of three-phase TSC. A is delta connected secondary and delta connected TSC. B, they have given Y connected secondary, Y connected TSC four-wire system. Okay, don't mix the diagrams. This is one circuit and this is the second circuit. Okay. So regarding this, you need to write the sentence and also you need to mention the principle of operation of TSC. Next, you draw the necessary diagram and explain the protective gear of a series capacitor. In synchronous condenser, you will get, that is protective gear. Emergency reactive power supply, they have asked. Emergency reactive power supply and also power system voltage control. You can observe the question number is explain the application of synchronous condenser, power system voltage control, emergency reactive power supply. They may ask for 5 marks. You need to write at least 5 points regarding that. If they ask for 10 marks for emergency reactive power supply, you need to write all the sentence. Depending upon marks, you can write. Series capacitor, protective gear. Okay, this is a protective gear. They have asked. They may ask for 10 marks or they may ask for 5 marks, 8 marks, like that. Okay. So if they ask for 10 marks or if they ask for 8 marks, okay, first you mention this circuit. Okay, you mention this switching time cycles. You mention this and you write sentence regarding this. First you write regarding protective gear, what it is. Next you write related to this circuit. Next you come back to this next circuit is there. You write regarding at least 5 sentences regarding this. Okay. So first what it is protective gear. Next write the switching time cycles, that one. Regarding that you write the sentence and next you come back to this circuit and write the sentence related to this. Okay. It is more than enough for 10 marks. Okay. If you want, you can write this series capacitor field test capacitor rating. Okay. This graph you can write. I line, V gap, bypass switch current, gap current, bypass switch current. This is easy, you can mention. Okay, in order to get the full marks you need to write more. Okay, then only you'll get out of 10. If they give for 10 marks, you'll get 10 marks. Next, they've asked that comparison of basic types of compensator. See, don't confuse the headings. Comparison of basic types. These are the comparison of basic types of compensator. This is comparison of basic types of compensator. That is synchronous condenser, TCR with shunt capacitors, TSC, and polyphase saturated. This will come under the model. That is model 4. Okay, this will come under model 4. Comparison of basic types of compensator. Next, finally, model 5. This question already we have discussed, I think. I have made video on this, explain the effect of harmonics on electrical equipment. So what is the question here? Explain the effect of harmonics on electrical equipment. That is the first question. This is the transmission benefits. You have transmission benefits. So till F, okay, till F there are points. 6 points are there. You need to write related to that particular point. You need to mention, you need to explain regarding that particular point. Okay, transmission benefits also important question. What are the transmission benefits of reactive power coordination in power system? So now you came to know, right? Third question answer. You need to mention the 6 points and you need to explain that. Next. Telephone interference. Okay, telephone interference. They have asked question like this. Discuss the telephone interference. If they ask for 5 marks, mention 5 points related to that. And if they ask for 10 marks, you need to mention the more points, even TIF factors take into account. This also you can mention to get a full marks, because if they ask for more marks, you need to write. And this equations also important. If they ask for 5 marks also, you write. If they ask for 10 marks or 10 marks also, you mention the equations and the factors and some points related to TIF, telephone interference. Okay. So there are 5 points related to that, and factors also there. What factors they consider for TIF. Next question is, now we came to know 2 questions. They explain the effect of harmonics. Effect of harmonics on electrical equipment. So this is a easy topic, and I've already explained in an easy way what points you need to mention. You watch video related to this topic, you'll understand. Okay. Next question is, now we have discussed this also. Explain the 2 approaches to install line capacitors on 11 kV lines. There are 2 approaches. This is the answer for that. There have been 2 approaches to installing a pole mounted line capacitors on 11 kV. One is fixed line capacitor. You write regarding that 5 points related to that. Next, you need to mention the automatically switched line capacitors. For particular this, you have a figure, don't confuse. I have given in the last refer textbook, and it is in the available in the notes also. You see till last figure 12.6. Okay, figure 12.6 it is. This is the circuit, and this is the diagram for the 11 kV installation. Okay, you can draw this one in a simple way. Next, what question is there? Explain optimum compensation factor. Optimum compensation factor. So you can observe in economic justification for reactive power planning, there were so many points, and each point have like a 10 marks it is. Okay, so if they ask for economic justification of reactive power planning, you mention the points and you just go on explaining related to that at least 3 points. That's enough. Okay, if they ask for a particular question, optimum compensation factor, then you mention the first what it is, what it indicates, CT, CE, CP, CR, CE, CPO, what they are, and you mention the equation, this equation, okay, this equations, QO, what it is, QC, what it is, KQC divided by Q naught, what it is, compensation factor, whether it should be less than 1, and LF is nothing but load factor, and RMS is a effective value of a load active power, that is equals to what, lambda into P naught, and you write the equations. Okay, you need to write related to this, and here based on these parameters we put down that algebraic forms for the following, that is annual line cost, annual transform cost. These are you need to mention. Okay, these 7 points you need to write, and equations related to that. They may ask for 10 marks. If they ask for 10 marks, you need to write maximum. Okay, so there are so many sentences are there, just you sort out some points and make notes related to that. Okay, you cannot write this, yeah, all the points, because if you go on writing, you will not get the 10 marks. It will be, you'll get 10 marks, but for 10 marks it takes 1 hour to write, because if so many sentences, if you go on writing, it will take more time. So related to that, you sort out some points and write. Okay, don't write everything in the exam, because you need to maintain the time for a particular question. If they ask for 5 marks, if you write for 10 marks, it is they will give only 5 marks only. So you write according to the marks. Next, explain latest methods in optimizing VAR planning. This is the latest method in optimizing VAR planning. You need to mention these 3 points, and they have explained capacitor placement. Okay. Suppose instead of putting a capacitor, we want to subdivide the section for operational convenience. This point you write, and this third point you write. This is enough for 10 marks. Okay. This is enough for 10 marks. If they ask types of system, okay, you need to mention this one. Okay. If they ask for types of system, you need to mention this. Objective function. Explain the latest methods they have given. So if you mention these 5 points, this table, that's enough. Okay, mention the 5 points, and a function, objective function, and constraint function, and percentage of share, and remarks. If you write this one, enough. No remarks are there. You mention this 4. Okay. Next, explain the methods followed by the electricity boards in India. This is the final question. This is the answer for that. Method followed by the electricity boards in India. First is zonal. Okay. First is zonal reactive power requirements for electric high voltage and medium voltage. And second point you write related to that 7 points, and low tension capacitor placement in distribution. Okay. Some points related to first topic and some points related to second topic. If you write, that's enough. Okay. To get a 10 marks. If they ask for 10 marks, write 5 points of each point. If they ask for less marks, you write according to that. Okay. So now you came to know, right, for which question, what answer you should write and how much you should write. Okay. So all the best for your exam. Write well and score well. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe channel for more updates.